podcast today, we have Mr. Tom Waters, the managing director of Party Poker. Tom, how's it going?
Hey Jeff, very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Tom is not only the managing director of Party Poker, also a pretty darn good poker player. Just fresh off the closer, which is a replica of the main event here in the Bahamas. They do the same, just what's a $500 buy instead of $10K. And you finished third place.
Yeah, I had a good run yesterday. Finished third. One point I thought I was getting a heads up, but it was nice to run that deep. Really fun tournament, yeah. So very, very, very happy.
That's awesome. Well, I know you've been busy. There's a lot to cover, a lot going on in the poker landscape, a lot at Party Poker in particular. Today's topic in particular is going to be the future of mobile poker. There's some big changes. I've seen it. We're going to show you guys a video at the end. We're going to let you ask questions as well, but there's a ton to cover, so why don't you first give us a little bit of background on what your poker experience is, how long you've been with Party Poker, and then we're going to dive into kind of what's going on with the mobile and the future of gaming, which I've seen. I'm telling you, I've been in poker a long time. This is, I think, revolutionary and going to change how people view their experience, and we'll let you tell us why, and then we'll show you an example. But give us first a little background on yourself as a poker player and
Sure.
what you do at Party Poker.
Sure. So I've been a fish in the poker world for a long time. So I used to play on full tilt back in the day when I was like 18, 19, 20, and just casually, like $10, $20 here and there. And that only really changed when I got involved with Party. So it was 2015, 2016. I was still at GVC, which is Party's parent company, doing some other stuff, and then got involved in Party Poker, and then started to take poker a bit more seriously. So I've been very fortunate to be around some pretty good poker players in the team, and learned a lot from these guys, and I've been able to play some nice live events. Had a deep run in Punta Cana a couple of years ago. Had a really nice run in the main this year in Vegas.
Let's show you the hand in mob real quick just to back this up. We do have it pulled up that he does have a little bit of game. There he is, looking serious, repping the Party Poker, and you do have a few nice scores, like you said, this summer. You got deep, 200 for a 50K score. You have a score, 87K. That's he's better at his hobby than my profession. That's a better main event run than I've ever had, and there it is to prove it. The third, just now here in the Bahamas the other day, almost got a trophy. So again, you do obviously have some experience. You love the game, and that is nice. And you've been with Party, as you mentioned, for several years. How did you get in? Where were you before Party? Were you actually playing cards, or what got you? Where did you come from?
Not really. I mean, I had obviously a little bit of poker background, but not really. So I only really started playing properly when I was involved with the business. I met Rob Young and a WPT event at Dusk Till Dawn, and it all kicked off from there really. So it was 4 years ago, and when we first started looking at this project, Party was in a bad place.
Right.
So they had no investment for a long time, and we looked at this business and thought, oh my God, how do we get it out of the hole? And there were two things really which we had to focus on. One was the tournament schedule, which was all over the place. Right. So we needed to fix MTTs, which we did quite quickly, and then also was the software. So the Party software had just been dying for 4 or 5 years, and it needed a lot of attention, and it's taken us 4 years to get it to where it is now. I think the software now is almost unrecognizable from even 18 months ago. We know we have a long way to go, but the software's got a lot better, and all we're doing is listening to the players really, and what do they want to see, what do they want to improve their experience, and that's the list that we're working through.
Right.
At the moment we've got a list of like 300-400 items of software development pieces that we know we need to do, and it's just getting these items in a queue and trying to get them rolled out as quickly as possible. But we're working really hard, and I think the Party's been around a long time. It was one of the first online gaming brands, and because of that we're working with some old technology in places, so it takes us a bit of time to overhaul that. Some features take us a bit longer than we'd like to roll out, but we're getting there, and I think what we're going to talk about now, which is mobile. I'm so excited about this product, and I think that this completely changes our product offering for mobile. And let's be honest, I think, Jeff, the software today on mobile is a bit boring. It's functional, you can play, but there's no fun element to it. It's not that easy to play. It doesn't look great. Whereas our new product that we'll talk about now is completely different. It's really fun. Yeah. I've loved testing it. It's been really cool having a look and developing these features and fun elements to the game. It's really easy to play, and it is enjoyable. So it's not just logging on to a table. You've got all this other cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I'll say this, my personal experience with the mobile for all platform, across stars, Party, anyone that offers mobile, it's, at a 1 to 100, it's like a 20. I really believe this is, it takes into the 90s, which is like a pretty crazy jump, because it's kind of hard to really, anyone who's played mobile poker has experienced this, and it's, again, like you said, it gets it done. If you're in a live tournament and you want to play a Sunday on a Party, there's a good tournament, maybe play one table, it's like, all right, you could do it. But now it's actually like fun. Like, you may just, you're run around, you want to play a cash game, fast forward, starting with spins, you're at the airport, or you're about to hop on a flight, and it's actually it's like Candy Crush, or something that you're like fun, and it's like, I want to do this, not just like, all right, I'm good at poker, I like poker, I want to play. It actually is, I think, where people choose that over like another passing of the time, which is pretty ridiculously exciting.
It is exciting, and it's so easy to play, because it's I guess we should say that the existing app is landscape, so you have to turn your phone around. This one is portrait mode, so whatever else you're doing on your phone at the same time, you can multitask. You can play with one thumb. It's really easy to play. We're rolling out spins tomorrow, so spins should be live in the App Store and Google Play tomorrow. If not, it'll be the day after. So people can start to experience this early next week. And spins is just the beginning, right? We're having to do this in phases. So spins comes in tomorrow. We're also working on updating Fast Forward at the moment, which should go live next month. Cash games then follow in January, and MTTs probably February or March next year. So by the end of Q1 of 2020, we've got a completely new mobile experience for all the players.
Right.
So we did spins first because it's probably the most fun game out there, and we know we need to start attracting a whole raft of recreational players to Party. So spins is the best way for us to do it, and get this nice big player pool of people that are sitting, playing, and enjoying playing poker. And I think this new app will bring a lot of new customers to the business. So we want a nice big pool of players. We want games to start quickly. We don't want people waiting around. We want them to enjoy the experience, and this new spins product does that. So I don't know, maybe we should go live and talk about some of the features in this new app, so that people can actually see.
Yeah, I think, well, we do have a video to show at some point. I'd like to cue that up, but like, in terms of actual, as you can see here on the banner, kind of get a look at, you can get a kind of look at how it is, and right there it shows there's 4 table option and how it looks. But we will watch a video to see the actual, you can kind of get a better feel for it. And then again, tomorrow you'll be able to play spins. If you have a Party Poker account, it'll be, you can download it and use it. We also have a chance, 5 109 Millions online tickets. If you guys want to ask a question to Tom, or just comment, retweet, check it out right now. That is live, and we're going to go through those questions at the end here too. But yeah, talk to me a little bit about the functionality, what is different, and what's going to be on this mobile in particular. What's different than the past?
So it's completely new, right? So it's portrait, so you play it the right way round.
Yeah.
Also, Jeff, you just talked about the multi-tabling. So you've got 2 options basically when you're playing. If you want to play more than one table, you can either swipe left and right with your thumb to go between tables, or you can go to this new multi-screen mode where the tables are tiled like you would have them tiled on a desktop, and you can actually act from the little mini view. So on an iPad, for example, it's really easy to do it. So you can have the four tables up at the same time. You can act, or you can switch back to the other view. So it depends how you want to play. It's just fully customizable for the player. It's really cool, really easy to play. Then we've got a new spins lobby coming in also, so it's not just the table. So the lobby will make it much easier for players to find their games and get in nice and quickly. So that's one. You've got diamonds as well. We've introduced this new diamond currency, which is free for players. You earn diamonds by playing, and you can then use these diamonds to do a few different things at the moment. And this will expand over time. But at the moment, we've also rolled out a rabbit card feature.
Yeah. So
this little rabbit will pop up when you folded your hand, and you can click the rabbit and it will show you the rabbit cards basically on the board, so how the board would have run out if you'd have played.
Which I think is awesome. It's nice to not, because I know sites, they've had it where it like automatically peels every hand if you have a setting, but the fact that you can decide to see it or not and click a thing, it's cool. I've seen it, and it's a very nice feature. It's cool.
Fun. It's very fun. Yeah. And also with the diamonds, you can also use these diamonds to throw animations at your opponent. So I think there's 10 different options for you to do. Things like boxing glove, you can send boxing gloves to your opponents. You can send them a kiss. There's a cigar. There's a cool little fishing rod where you can lure them in, and all this stuff is really fun. And I think players will start to really engage in this. So that's really cool. Plus, also the new bet slider has it's one thumb. You can use your thumb just to bet. There's pre-select buttons now that are customizable, so you can change your pre-selects if you wanna min raise or raise 2.2 big blinds or 2.5, etc. It's all done now in the customization settings. There's lots more coming with the Fast Forward app also next month. So this is a phase one for spins, but players will see lots of different features in there. Emojis now you can use. There's also chat options, which at the moment are just pre-selects, so things like good luck, unlucky, stuff like that, where they can just share basic poker terms, and over time this will evolve and we'll have more options.
Right.
So all of those are the features in there. Also coming to our mobile for the first time is hand replayer, which is really nice and pops up like another table. So effectively we're bringing the features that we're missing from mobile into this product for the first time.
Actually, I just thought of this now because I don't know if this is possible, but is it an option to have a replayer on the mobile? Can you hit replay and like drag that to like make it one of your 4 tables, or no?
At the moment, it just appears over
right.
the table, but it's something that we're looking to do.
That would be cool because it's like, especially in like a spin or something where it's so fast. But yeah, that is awesome that you can do it. It's nice that I've seen the replay feature. Sort of not on go on a tangent, but speaking of the hands, what about with MyGame? Is that something if you play? MyGame is the redesign's beautiful. I've used it. I've sampled it. I know how it works. Is that something if you play a hand on mobile, will you be able to see a hand that you play on mobile in the MyGame, like on your desktop?
Yes. Yeah, so at some point MyGame will come to mobile, but at the moment any hands played on your mobile device will link back to your account, and when you log in on PC you can see all your hand history in MyGame. So for those guys that don't know what MyGame is, it's an in-house learning tool basically in the PartyPoker client, which is brilliant. And effectively, just to put it in perspective, when we first tested MyGame, we did it with a group of players, and all of the players that engaged with the MyGame tool improved their score, their poker ability by 2 levels by following the tuition. It effectively gives you personalized advice based on your real gameplay. So it's only your hands that it feeds from, and it will give you a score in various different areas. For example, you're opening too many hands, or you're not aggressive enough, or your win rate's bad, or something else. There's lots of different categories that it breaks your game down into, and it'll give you a grade, and it'll give you a tip next to the grade as to what you need to do to improve. There's missions and there's learning tools and videos of material that helps the player, but it's all personalized, and it's really, really helpful. And I've learned a lot from MyGame by just being involved, and I know it's working for the players. So this tool is really helpful. You can also now download your anonymized hand histories through MyGame, which is really important, I know, for players that want to be able to improve and educate themselves about what they're doing wrong. So MyGame is becoming really, really important for us, and it's really important, I think, for the players also. Yeah,
that's awesome. No, it's great. Actually, I did sample it as well, and I would say it was interesting because the feedback I got on MyGame was stuff that I realized, like and being a professional even, there's areas of course that you feel like you maybe struggle with or that you could improve on, and it did kind of zone in on a few areas where I know that, I thought was true about MyGame, and it's very, very interesting. And yeah, we're here to talk about mobile, but that is something, and the fact that you can have that even from your mobile that it will share. And what about the vice versa of that though? Will you be able to throw emojis and do stuff on your desktop that is in the app, the mobile app?
You will. So we have different goals for mobile and desktop. So at the moment mobile is start again, so we're releasing all these products. With desktop we've now got quite a decent base product, and we're looking to build on it. So all of the features that we're creating for mobile, we're also going to move to desktop. So in terms of timelines, probably January, February next year. Things like the rabbit card feature, being able to throw emojis, you'll be able to do all that stuff. For players that don't want that, there'll be a setting so you can turn it off. If you just want to focus on poker, fine, no problem. But if you want to have a bit of fun while you're playing and you don't mind having emojis and animations going around the screen, then yeah, this stuff will come in also. So everything that we're developing on mobile will come across onto desktop.
Nice, that's great. And how long was this project? How long has this taken to start to?
We started working on this spins product about 6 months ago. So we've managed to roll it out actually quite quickly.
Yeah, it's very fast.
And with Fast Forward following next, I think by the end of the year, 2 out of the 4 major products you'll be able to play on mobile in the new format.
Will sit and goes be a part of the multi or a part of the spins or part of the
sit and goes will come with MTTs.
MTTs and sit and goes. Okay.
Yeah. So in Q1 next year.
Nice. Well, I appreciate people joining us on YouTube live, but you guys, again, there is 109 times 5 tickets to give away on Twitter. If you want to ask a question, you're eligible to win that. Right now, over 100 so far. We are going to answer those at the end, but we got definitely more to talk about with Tom and Party Poker, and I just want to, there's some really exciting events coming up live as well as online. Of course, the Millions. Let's take a look real quick here at the Millions on December. So this is December 1st. I actually didn't get to play this last year, but this was a 20 million guaranteed. This is for one tournament. This is deceiving because you think it's a series, but this is actually a one tournament, 10,300 buy-in. There's a day 1A, a day 1B. So December 1st is the day 1A, day 1B on December 8th. There's day 1C on the 9th, and then actually a turbo as well on the 9th. And then you would be on day 2, which is Monday, December 9th. But actually, interesting fact, if you play on 1A, you bag the chip lead. If you were to go on to win the tournament, which, is one of the chip leaders at the end of day 1 in a 3-day tournament, you have a decent, it definitely increases your chances of being that winner. You would actually get $1 million bonus. Million cash bonus if you win the tournament, your chip leader day 1A. So if you're planning to play the event, I guess you satellite. There's a lot of satellites. If you do satellite in, you are going to play on day 1A.
Correct.
So it's up to you, but I think 1A is going to be more people and much more probably better value and a chance of that bonus.
Yeah, 1A is going to be big. There's so many megasats running in the next week. If you look at the party lobby now, there's a 500k guaranteed megasat running just before day 1A. So it's a 1k buy-in, but you can feed into that. There's also megasats running with 530 buy-in. So we've mixed it up in the schedule to give players the choice. Plus, for all of these megasats, you can feed in from almost nothing, $2, $22 straight in, whatever, 109 into 530.
Right.
So it's an absolutely massive megasat schedule. Running all the way up to day 1A, with megasats then running in between the day one. So if you're lucky enough to be able to buy in direct, brilliant. But if you can't, there's hundreds of different options in terms of getting into that tournament.
That's gonna be sweet.
Massive.
That's gonna be sweet. You're gonna be able to play that? Or no?
I can't.
You're not allowed to play.
I can't.
You're a live guy.
I wish I could play on party, but
right.
I can't.
You're only okay. That's
I
actually
can only
good.
test.
I'm glad that's the answer. That's actually better, right? It's good to keep everything kosher. So okay, well that's exciting. What about on mobile? Are you able to play a spin, a cash game, a multi, or not, in the future? Once they're all integrated, will that be an option?
So at the moment you can play
Spins.
whatever you want at the same time, right? But when this change goes live tomorrow, because of the portrait versus landscape problem, if you're playing a spin, you can only play a spin. But if you're not playing a spin, you can still play a tournament, a cash game, fast forward, whatever at the same time. So then when Fast Forward is released next month, you can play Fast Forward and spins at the same time because you're in portrait, but you won't be able to play a tournament or a cash game. As the products move across, cash games then come in January, you can play cash games, Fast Forward, spins at the same time. And then when MTTs come in March, all 4 products, you can do it all at once. And we also will add the option for players to be able to switch back to landscape mode if they want to at some point. So that will also come, so players can choose how they want to play. But I think having played around with this portrait mode, I think most players are going to prefer playing this way around. It's so much easier.
Yeah, it's really cool. It is. It's nice. We're going to show at the end of the podcast. We will show a video clip of what all the hype is about, what we're talking about. And again, I think it's something you just kind of have to see because it's just like the shock value. Like when you think about the mobile's current state, what's possible, you're just maybe thinking, oh, there's some tweaks to the current version, but it's essentially just a total rip out, like a remodel. You just tear down. Remodel.
It's gone. The old version is gone. Will never be seen again. This new one is so much better.
Yeah.
So we built it from scratch.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So I want to also talk about with poker right now, the current state. There's a lot of questions too about what's going on with the U.S. And again, we talk about that's going to be more in the future. But Pennsylvania, I know, did pass recently, and that's something that Party are there plans for Party Poker to be operational?
They will at some point. I mean, Party's already in New Jersey,
yep.
In the U.S. They're looking at expanding everywhere. But if we're honest about the US market, I think it's going to take some time because of the ring-fence liquidity pools. It's very difficult to operate. However, they will be looking to expand into these markets, and hopefully shared liquidity comes soon. If that happens, then poker in the US could boom. But I think in reality, if I'm honest, it's going to take some time to get there.
And what about other countries of interest, like Italy? Is there some news and things with that?
Yeah, we're actually launching in Italy in the next few weeks. So PartyPoker will be back in Italy. Italy at the moment is ring-fenced liquidity, so you can only play if you're in Italy or you're Italian. But it's a nice new market for us to be going into, and we're continually looking to expand into markets where we're not operating.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting to mention, like, with Twitch, for example, obviously the team online has grown. Kind of, there wasn't really a presence for PartyPoker. Something to say that just wasn't ready. You know, PartyPoker was not the software you didn't think was quite up to par. He says 18 months, it's been huge changes, a lot going on. It's unrecognizable, as well as the guarantees. You know, they just weren't quite there. And that's something, when I met with Rob in January, started talking with him a bit, and again, it wasn't just like obliviousness to Twitch or what's going on, just wasn't really ready to like market or promote something that wasn't in the mind of ready to be, not necessarily not proud of, but just like knowing that it was a lot coming, a lot changes, why showcase something that isn't quite there. And then that, I think, is true of the mobile, right? It's like now it's here, it's ready, and you guys really want to do a good job and make sure it was a great product instead of just doing little incremental changes.
Yeah, you need to be different, and it has to be fun. I think as a poker company, we're competing against not just other poker companies these days. It's social media, esports, free apps, things like Candy Crush, all these sort of things. They're all taking away players' time and attention. So we have to offer something that's fun. Ultimately, if you're not having fun, then you're not going to carry on playing. And I think on the old app, fine, it's okay for dedicated players, but this new app is great for everyone. I think it's a game changer, and I think people are going to have a lot of fun with this. So we had to get it right, and we had to wait until we were ready before we started pushing it out. And this is the time now for us to start showing everybody what this app is and what fun they can have.
Absolutely. And what time actually is it? UK time? What time are people? Is the spins you're going to be able to? I mean, we're within 24 hours, certainly, maybe even less. It's UK time. Is it open for people to download this new version? Do they have to uninstall? How does it work to install?
It will auto update depending on the player settings, or they may have to go and get it pushed from the App Store. But Apple we have to submit to Apple. They review and then approve. So at the moment, it's just gone through that approval process. We're now waiting to switch it on. It will probably happen at some point tomorrow UK time. If not, it will be Tuesday latest. So in the next 48 hours, players will be able to play spins on the new app. But it's on iOS and Android. And something else we should probably also mention is that we've also developed a browser-based version of the game. So spins exactly the same, but you can play in your browser on your phone if you don't have the app or don't have access to the App Store. You can go in and play directly through there.
Ooh, excuse me. Sneeze there. That's awesome. Well, that's exciting. I guess obviously you got that we have here. You guys know with PartyPoker, Twitter. With Instagram, it'll be, I'm sure, announcements. It'll be a big deal once it's officially about to go. You guys will put that out. I mean, I'll certainly make the announcement on my socials as well. Again, huge. Not quite ready for the mobile, right? This is you can still play this 10K online, just won't be the newest version.
You'll be playing on the old software.
The old software, but that is something you can play. I will be playing. I'm going to try to be streaming, and this is. Do you remember? Does this anticipate to break the? Last year, I believe it was 2.3 or 2 million, something like that, to the winner, and I think it got like 21 or 2 million. Is that right?
That's
last
correct.
year?
There were 4 millionaires last year, and there'll be 4 millionaires this time again.
Wow, and very likely could break the record last year. I think it was such a successful event. People have this on the calendar.
It's true, yeah. I think 21 million was the total prize pool last year. So I think it could be bigger this time around. So it's going to be a massive payday for first.
That's
huge.
Awesome. That's very cool. I am excited about that. I'm also, another event coming up is the we're going to be in the UK at Dusk Till Dawn. That's going to be the Millions. Is it a 5 mil guarantee or 10? The one in the UK.
I think it's £5 million.
£5 million. And there's that promo if you had played all the 10K stops as well as the online 10K Millions for the year.
Yeah.
You get a buy-in. So
yeah,
I'll be cashing that ticket. I'll be coming for that. It's a lot. It's cold in January. I just wish it wasn't in January in the UK. But
it's cozy inside though.
Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah, we're there to play poker, so that'd be fun. Will you be playing that one?
I won't be. I don't play main events because for various reasons. But I think it's good for me. I like playing side events at these festivals because I get a lot of feedback from players at the table.
Mm-hmm.
They tell you what they like, what they don't like, and then you can take that away and start to try and just build a product that is for the players effectively.
Right.
So it's the only way really to get this sort of feedback from the players is when you sat down at the table in the real environment and experience what everybody else is experiencing.
Right. I will say this, a good friend of mine who is 100% businessman who was here, he was saying too, just loves one of the biggest changes is the shot clocks, like now it's like every table has the iPads, it's a shot clock, and it's almost like people are trained, like Pavlov, like experiments. It's like now there's just not tanking. It's like even though you have 30 seconds to act, people just kind of fold faster.
Yeah.
Things move along. The big blind ante, that's kind of across the board on all the tournament series seems to be doing
Speeds
that
up
now.
the game.
Huge savings in time. Also, it's like for those that you want to be on your phone, you don't have to every hand. It's not like a thing. Your big blind or the small blind, big blind. You post the big blind plus the ante for the whole table, and then after that, if you fold your hand, you're done for a while, right? Like you don't have to every hand. You're not like actively having to do something. So those kind of things, anytime, it's so hard now. Tournament's been around for a long time. These kind of integration of these are hard to find, these type of big time changing of things, and I think it's just sort of it shows that parties listening. They're like you said, they're listening to players. They want to make it about the players. 8-handed as well. Even like the 1K events, it's 8-handed turbo. You're not 9-10 handed, and it's cool. I think everyone just seems to really be loving the series, loving the stops. And Bahamas here, Bahamar does a great job. Really, Bahamas in the past, I think Atlantis are just, not to say just sort of a stigma of bad service or slow and this, but I mean this is like a Vegas on the water. It's brand new, it's fresh, it's nice, good food, good restaurants, good service, and everything is. And I think it's like unanimously everyone's saying this is one of the best stops, and that's great.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect venue for a poker tournament. I mean, you've got the sun, the sea, the sand, the hotel, the casino. Everything's beautiful. You get well looked after. There's great food choices. The poker room is the best poker room I've ever seen.
Yeah, very clean, nice.
So I think the players have got everything that they want here. So it's brilliant. It's my favourite stop.
I agree. I would say it is too, and it's also nice. It's close to the airport. It's not 45 minutes. It's like a 7-minute ride, and kind of nice. Get in and get out. This year the guarantee did miss slightly, but a 10 mil guarantee. I think it got 948. So a slight overlay, which is also it's
a challenge.
Good for the players, but
you have no walk-ins here because there's you're on an island, and unless the players are coming specifically for the tournament, you might find
locals aren't allowed to play.
No, so
which is actually really interesting.
Yeah, so I think we need to find some more qualifiers for next year. That's the answer. So you probably we missed by 50 players.
The mobile's going to be humming. I'm not worried about it, I'm telling you. I think this is gonna. I'm just like, I genuinely am so excited about it. Like the truth of the matter is, because I just know I can say that, and just know that if someone tells me I just wasn't into it or I didn't like it, I just know they're not. And just I don't believe it, or they're never gonna like a mobile, because this is so revolutionary. I'm excited to show the video here shortly, kind of at the end, but it's exciting. This is a big day for poker.
You'll be playing spins on mobile tomorrow night, right?
Yes, well, yes, tomorrow for sure. I'm in the Bahamas right now. I love it. I've sampled the stuff and I know it. I just know how good it is. So it's gonna be. There are restrictions. Responsible gaming. If you set a time per week or something, I could see just finding it's hard to get off. It's one of those things where it's just it's just there, and like Candy Crush, like you said, or whatever, it's just got that thing. It's got that excitement, the fun aspect of it. So I think it's going to be responsible gaming. Let's make sure.
But I think the other thing is people may find themselves now playing on mobile instead of desktop. So if you're not looking to play 10 tables, you want to play 1 or 2, and spins, to be honest, it's a fast game, so how many tables can you play? 1 or 2. I think players will move to mobile now to play.
Or an iPad. You got your phone, so then you can still be on your phone or do text or something, but an iPad's really clean and easy, and it's nice, and then you can you have it, you're traveling around, you're playing on the go, and you still have access to your phone. So I'm excited, really curious how the feedback's going to be. I think it's going to be talked about a lot, and I don't want to overhype it or get too excited, but I got a feeling like it's one of those things. I want to be the one to. I hope you hear it. I hear it first, but if not, it's going to be a lot of promotion, a lot of talking about. Tell your friends and check it out and give feedback, because again, like you said, there's going to be new. You guys are working on it. Still going to be updates. Still going to be integrating into the other parts. So there's open room for feedback.
I mean, we've been testing this app for the last few weeks with a group of players and getting feedback, and we've made some changes based on that feedback. But for sure, there's more stuff that we know we need to do that's coming, but there also might be stuff that we've missed. So the only way to find out about what's not working properly or what would be a nice addition is from feedback from players. So Yeah, I would really encourage it. It'd be great if we could get feedback from everybody on the app. You know, what do you want to see? What makes it easy for you? What don't you like? We know there's a few sort of contentious issues at the moment. Some people like the bet slider as it is. Some people have suggested it might be better a different way. So, you know, if we're getting the same feedback for everybody, we can make those changes when we start to develop the product a bit further.
Right. Yeah, or even like with the multi-table, if once that's ready in Q1 of 2020, having like where you can open the lobby as another table or stuff like that, like where you can, you know, just little things that are always going to be improving. So that's
Always.
great. Yeah, is there anything else upcoming stops? So there's the February will be Punta del Este in Uruguay.
Yeah.
How far out are the major tours for 2020 right now? Is there anything?
So I know the guys are finalising their 2020 schedule now, and I think, to be honest, everybody can expect to see similar stops.
Yeah, Bahama, that's got to be in, right? That might even be already contracted.
I believe the dates are being finalised now, and it'll be around the same time next year here. So anybody that missed out this year can have a look. The satellites run pretty early. You can also just maybe the other thing to talk about here is the new tournament dollar, PP Live dollar.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Synchronization, So previously players had to win PP Live dollars in the PP Live dollar sats, and if they wanted to play online, they would win tournament dollars. Now we've merged everything together, so PP Live dollars and PP Online dollars are the same thing. So we've got tournament dollar satellites running all the time, where people just win generic amounts, so 1K, $250, $500, etc. And they can build up a balance of these dollars, save them up, and then use them for a live event, use them for an online event. It just gives complete flexibility, so players can pick and choose. Do you want to play Millions Online?
Right.
Do you want to play Millions UK? If you have the T dollars, it doesn't matter.
That's
so
great.
It's really easy for players.
Yeah, it makes it even. Yeah, there's no confusion. Actually, on my vlog that I released today, one of the events here, I ran into a gentleman. I believe his name was Alex. He was from Finland, and he played a $22 satellite, which he thought was to just get into a 215. It was for the Caribbean, so he was trying to go register like a. Well, I want to talk as well about the new Party Millions that's back. That's also exciting. That's a brand new deal that's every week. So, but the reason I mention that is because he said he was trying to get a ticket for that. He won this thing. He couldn't register. So then he was in this Bahamas thing. He's in Finland. He's young. He plays $20 tournaments. That's like his. You know, he's trying to look at satellite in the 215s. He wins a seat into the 215. Bahamas qualifier, which he doesn't even realize. He then wins that to go to the final, right? Because then you have to win. You get in the qualifier to $16K package. So now he meant to just get a random 215 ticket. He's now won a 215 seat to the final of to get to the final. He wins the 215 again. So now he's in the actual final with roughly 100 players. He has to get top 5, and sure enough, he won it, and he was here. He's 23. He was buzzing. I just watched the thing again today. He was just the happiest guy ever. He came down here, $16K package, everything paid for. Played a $10K buy-in. He's playing $20 tournaments because he misclicked registered. So maybe we wouldn't have that kind of story as possible again, like an accident. But that to your point, it's nice that it's just sort of all right. The dollars all get together. You can use it for live or online. It's in one spot, which is really cool. That's a big change because that is. That's nice. It's good to give everyone the options for how they want to do it and what they want to.
Complete flexibility. It's really, really cool.
And also to talk some major changes that you are the managing director of Party Poker, talking with Rob, who's very involved and listens to the players. He's on Twitter. You want to follow him as well, Rob_Young on Twitter. Really takes time, does polls, checks on everything. Very big changes in the last several months with the new alias names, meaning your old Party Poker username was no longer. Everything got wiped clean. You had a choice to choose, I guess technically you could get the same one if you logged on that day and got it, or you could choose a new one.
You had to change. So
it couldn't be the old one.
No, it couldn't be the old one.
Other than if you had your name, your pros.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Pros were exempt.
Everyone knows anyway. No secret there. Our name is our name. So
you guys are unlucky.
Yeah, that's all right. That's fine. I love it. It's good, man. I love the whole deal. But it's awesome. That's a huge change. And there was some controversy. I think initially, or just not controversy. People, you're always going to get these type of major moves. Some people are going to agree, some won't. But for the betterment of the game, it seems like the best move. And how would you say that has gone? And how did you come to that decision?
We're really happy with the way it's gone because we know there's predatory people out there that use third-party tools and software to gain an advantage over other players. So we wanted to effectively wipe the slate clean for everybody. And back in June, we cleared the hand history from the client, downloadable hand history, so that players weren't able to take the hand history and data mine it. because I don't want the players to sit down at a table, play against somebody who they've never played against before, who has a tool that tells them exactly what this player does based on this data that they've collected from somebody else. It's just not right. Yeah. So you should be playing on a level playing field. So we wiped the slate clean. Hand histories went, and players were forced to change their alias. Now they had to change their alias so that they were untracked. So we wanted players that were just in the system, clean. Nobody knows who you are. You can just go and play. There's not a guy sat there with a tool that's telling him that you do this every time you 3-bet or
right.
exactly how you play. So it had to be clean. And we want players to be playing almost like they're playing live. So if you're playing against somebody in a live arena, it should be close to that online. I know you're never going to get the experiences exactly the same, but we don't want any other tools or pieces of software or unfair edges that are coming through. Yeah, so that's why we made those changes.
And of course there's notes, and you can do stuff. You start to recognize someone, you play with them a lot, you may have some information, you may start to run into the same people a little bit, and that's fine. And you can form it just like in live, where you play it, you run into guys certain multiple times, you have a general idea like, this guy's a little more aggressive or not, but ultimately fair. And to go a step further, maybe one of the bigger changes in poker in a decade or so was to decide to outlaw HUDs, the heads-up displays such as Poker Tracker 4, Hold'em, Manager, these type of things. Similarly, where you're talking, there's stats, there's data, and it's pretty intimidating as well when you look on when you're watching on Twitch or somewhere and you just see all these numbers. It looks like a Good Will Hunting, a Beautiful Mind, and these numbers, it looks kind of crazy. Personally, since it's been gone, I feel like my results are better, and I think even as a professional someone who's used one of these, it's actually, you got to think there's levels to it, right? I know how to read it kind of, but then you're going to turn bets, river bets, and guys like Jungle Man or Dan Cates and these guys like Sorcerer Wizard, guys that are using stats on whole nother levels. Now it's a matter of, are you using it well, are you using it the best? It's like pressure almost, like if you're not doing it or you're not understanding how to fully use it, you're at a disadvantage. Just to kind of say, look, everyone's on the same, wipe it out it's great. I think it's refreshing, it's nice, and also it's sort of a big deal. People are like, oh, how could this happen, or I don't know, but it seems to have been very positive overall.
Yeah, agree. And, players should be making their own decisions. It shouldn't be a tool telling them what decision to make. And just to be clear on hand histories as well, we're not saying that hand histories themselves are bad. It's the way that hand histories previously were used. So we've now changed it, so through MyGame you can download your hand history. Every other player is anonymized. We scramble the numbers so that it can't be matched back to the client. Therefore, a player can go in and use those hand histories to improve their game. They can download the hand histories. They are uploadable into some of the third-party HUDs, but that's the only place where a HUD works on party hand histories right now. It's just you can have a look at your stats, your personal stats, but you won't be able to get stats on.
So just to be clear, you're on MyGame. You have the other players and people you're playing against are scrambled, or it's not scrambled, but your own stats, like your VPIP.
You're the hero. You appear as the hero.
You see your real stats, like VPIP, pre-flop raise, 3-bet tendencies, all that. Okay. Yeah. So it's cool. I mean, the last update I saw in MyGame, I know there was, again, it's similar to the mobile. It's new. It's very revolutionary, but it's also being improved and constantly tweaked and worked on.
Constantly being improved. Yeah. MyGame's getting developed all the time. It's really cool. It's getting really good.
Yeah, and that's something you cannot use while you're playing.
MyGame you can use.
You can have on the side, but it'll show your past hands or.
Well, we've got this cool thing now, MyGame Live, which basically you can have as a pop-up on your screen, and as you play hands, they pop up and appear, and you can review the hands and have a look at your stats in real time. So it's really cool. There's something also. There's another exciting addition to MyGame coming before the end of the year. I'm not going to spoil the surprise on that one, but I think players, particularly recreational players, will find this really helpful.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, I think, there's a lot, this is just a ton of things, a lot of changes, a lot of, people are always a little scared or hesitant on the change, but it's one of those things like Party taking the chance, really sticking to what they believe and what's best for the longevity of the game. It's not easy when it's sometimes can be unpopular or you just get scrutinized for what's not known, but like you said, it's sort of, I think it's turned out well, and it's almost like, I was talking to Jamie Staples on the phone the other day, and he was saying, I can't remember what it was like playing with the HUD. I can't believe we used HUDs. It's kind of like that's how it's nice too on Twitch in particular to just see how everyone on Party, even some other guys like Lex and others don't use them when they play, and it just looks cleaner. It's just nice when you just don't see it. It doesn't look so intimidating, and it's just again, level playing field. It's great.
massive for
Yeah,
players.
it's really like how it should have been. Want to cover one more thing before we watch a video. We have like 100+ questions, Tom. So I know we're here in the Bahamas. We're doing a podcast. We do want to make sure we get everyone's questions. I see more coming in. Appreciate everyone joining you. And thank you for the messages on YouTube Live. We are going to take the questions, but I do want to talk about bots and security and what things are going on. And there's been a big kind of cleansing of bots and what's going on at parties. So can you tell a little bit about what that's like and how that's been?
So other than the software changes and the MTT overhauls, the project to deal with bots and other third-party tools was probably the biggest piece of work we've done in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've built a really efficient, experienced poker fraud team. So it's run by poker players, ex-poker players. These guys understand the game implicitly. So these guys know exactly what they're looking for. They've got experience in all these areas. They're working with some external guys also around statistics and data. We also have an in-house tool that we've developed that runs rules that effectively scans the database in real time, looking for patterns or any unusual behavior for things like collusion, maybe some chip dumping, anyone playing with certain statistics that suggest that maybe they're using a tool. There's all this stuff running in the background the whole time, and the guys have done an amazing job. They cleaned up the site. 18 months ago it started. They got rid of a load of suspicious accounts back then. There's stories that have been coming out in the last couple of weeks about some bots that have been operating in the poker industry, and actually the accounts in question on those threads were removed over a year ago from Party. So I'm very confident that the site is clean now. These guys do a brilliant job. They're really advanced. They're using very high-tech methods and techniques to pick stuff up, and if anyone comes in and tries to do anything that's against our terms and conditions, they're picked up very, very quickly.
Right. Wow, that's great to hear. It's also, it's like getting hackers, like, hiring, if you're like bad guys to come in to help. It's, they know that it's like a cat and mouse. It's always going to be, there's this and that, but trying to stay ahead of it and be active. And it's interesting to note that you have to remember, when Party gets rid of bots or any site, the bottom line's getting hurt, because and when people hear bots, you think, oh, it's like unbeatable, or they must just be killing the game. Some are like rakeback bots where they're just trying to break even, or they're just playing, and they're not like, they're just, but those start games. If you think about the actual ecology for party poker, getting rid of a ton of bots, that means you're taking out a lot of people that are playing. So it's actually, it hurts the bottom line.
It does.
And that's something you got to remember, that but it just has to be.
It's
right?
good for the players.
Yeah.
Long run. You don't want any of those running on the side.
No, it's not fun. It's not right. It's not that's not the mission. So that's it's great to hear, and I know that there has been significant changes, and it's like you gotta, again, same thing, clear it out, just start out, and then let people come in, build, and see how it kind of progresses. But it seems like a lot of positivity and good things happening.
Yeah, they've been really successful, and they've got this these list of processes in place that effectively will end up with somebody coming into our office to play. If we are not convinced by their stats or their answers to our questions, they will need to come into the office and play in front of us, and we'll watch them play a certain number of hands. If they can pass that test, then of course they're fine. If they can't, then their account is closed.
Oh, really? So
we've had some examples of that this year. Yeah.
So if someone lives in Canada, you have them come over to the.
We've had some cases recently where we've flown guys into London from various different countries across the world, and had them play in the office.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really interesting actually.
How and not obviously. It's private information out of can you give a percentage on what people pass or not? Like, it's literally like, it's like they're there, it's like if they pass they get to stay.
I mean, I think in reality, if a player's not going to pass, he doesn't come, so we close his account. But the guys that we've had into the office have passed. We forget. I think also,
that makes sense.
With there's so much learning and so much education on poker these days, you get some players that are effectively playing so close to GTO that they could be mistaken for a bot. And we've had some of those cases, and one guy was playing such high standard poker, he wasn't making mistakes, and effectively I think that's why we get player reports saying this guy's a bot, or we think this guy's cheating. And when we first look at the statistics, you think, well, maybe he is, and then you get him in the office and watch him playing, and he's just playing like everybody else. He's just sit and dedicated time to learning what to do in certain spots, and it just becomes automatic. So it's really interesting actually seeing the level some of these guys play to.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I just thought of this because as being in the position you are at Party Poker, in the integrity of the game, what's going on. Again, this isn't not really trying to stir the pot or get a controversial situation, but what do you think of the short take? I'm sure you've heard the Mike Postle situation. I don't know if you've seen it in the interviews. Joey Ingram, Doug Polk have done some pretty elaborate, in-depth videos, and Joey when he gets into something, he really goes for it, and he's made a ton of videos and dedicated a lot of time. Do you have an opinion? Have you seen anything on it? Are you aware of the situation? The reason I ask as well is because it is RFID. It's fascinating that it's not just like a cheating scandal in like a random casino behind the scenes. It's like there's all the footage, all the evidence, all the stuff you can see. You can see what's happening, and also Party. I'm sure it's been talked about because there's RFID. The tables, during this event, all the series, a lot of the, Twitch, these things, it's got to be brought to attention. It gets people a little concerned about maybe playing with the whole cards, and it opens up that possibility of what's happening or the delay. So do you have any opinion or statement or thoughts on that?
I mean, on the Postle case, it's just unbelievable. I think that, it's overwhelming evidence in suggesting that
Right.
something was going down. I mean, I can't believe it was going on for that long without being picked up. But on Party, I think you have to have trust and processes in place. And we use a very strong team of guys doing the streaming. That there's no way the information could be passed back to players. And I think it kills you. It would kill your business.
Right.
If something like that happened. Players wouldn't play, right? If I was going to a poker tournament, I know there was a risk with this company where information could be fed back to one of my competitors. There's no way I would sit down in that tournament. So we have to be confident that we've got the right guys doing it for us, and they're an independent team that work for us. And there's no way that could happen on Party. There's so many controls and processes in place.
Right. The whole GVC, you're talking about exactly the integrity of the entire business.
Reputation's dead if that happens. So
right.
there's just there's no way that the guys would allow that to be possible.
Okay, but so you in terms of the Postle, you have, like you just kind of mentioned, it looks overwhelmingly something's not up to par.
Not be,
right, that's how I feel too, and I'm not really sure how that all is going to unfold, but I know there's definitely some lawsuits and things happening, so hopefully that all comes to light. So why don't we? If there's anything else you want to touch on, we've covered a lot. We have 100+ questions that we're going to rattle through. Is there anything else on the upcoming agenda that's interesting? We covered a ton.
I think maybe just very quickly, we talked loads about mobile, but desktop product is constantly being evolved.
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff coming in the next few months. So players have been asking us for more recreational friendly features. One of those is Run It Twice. So we're adding Run It Twice to Fast Forward that goes live next month. We're also making some basic changes to the way that our lobbies work and queuing, for example. We're introducing King of the Hill for sit and goes to stop a whole list of players just sitting at one table. So that's coming in the next month. We're working on themes, so we talked about making the product more fun and friendly. Over the last year, we've added some themes in there, like the short deck theme. There's a Powerfest, there was a KO, but we're decoupling everything, which means that players are going to be able to go in and select exactly how they want their tables to look with a lot more options. So we're going to add a lot of themes in between now and the end of the year, so players can choose how they want their tables to look and feel, which again comes back to the fun part, which is really important.
How is that? Can you explain a little bit how, because I've wondered this too, I mean, it really is to change, it's based on when the software was made. Let's just say the major sites like 888, PokerStars, Party Poker, it's not so simple. Nowadays there's React, there's these others, what's it called? The softwares and the ways you can build React Native and these different things. It's a little easier to make changes and do things. When the sites are built, like it's not as simple. You can't just tweak things. You kind of have to like do a full revamp or not. How is that? Is that something is that like is there a way it's going to be a brand new thing, or is it?
We are, I mean, I think for the next 12 months we're going to be dealing with the old software.
Right.
But we're currently looking at options in terms of moving to a sort of more of a plug and play option where we just plug things in. It's a huge project now, because everything needs to be ported across to the new software. But at the moment, we're having to go back, change the old code, and even some basic stuff takes ages. When we introduced multi-select in the lobby last year, so players can just literally tick different options in the filters, it took 3 months to unravel the code and redo it. So some things that you might think are just a pretty easy change actually take ages, just because this software is so old as a base, and we're building on top of it. So it's just layer and layer and layer, and it makes it kind of really hard. But I think, you know, there's other changes coming too that players will see. The in the money indicator that we added, which was a really nice addition to the table. So you get a nice little color code on the information display in your table to show you when you're getting in the money. It tells you where you are in the tournament, how many you're getting paid. We're making further tweaks to that. It's too small at the moment. We need to make it a bit bigger so it's clearer.
Yeah, because there's party caption, which or no, I'm sorry. And what's it? Yeah, party. No,
it is party caption that does it.
Is that that program I use? And it's very nice. But now when I stream, and I have the other one as well, I almost don't need it. But it's like it's very cool. That's a great change they've added.
Yeah, so that's going to get better. So you'll be able to see when the next cash is, how much the next cash amount is. So you can see the money jumps as well. It means you don't have to keep flicking back between the table and the lobby. So there's lots of stuff basically that's coming that we're going to improve the tables, the look and feel. We still have a long way to go. Mac was miles behind.
Oh yeah, the Mac stuff. Talk about how that's going to be.
So Mac was just a long way behind. Every time we released something, PC got it first. And we were kind of playing catch up, but it's now up to date. So it got new lobbies, it got new tables. Mac looks really slick now. Actually, really nice to play on. So there's lots of changes coming. We're continually looking to improve. And I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I think we had 300 items on our roadmap.
Wow.
So these things we hope to get through like 80 of those in the last quarter of this year, and then we've got a big schedule planned for Q1 of next year to roll out new stuff.
That's amazing. Tell me also, because this has been very beneficial for me, and I think it just makes so much sense about the day 1 and 2 online. So this is something I did that. I came in day 3 to WPT in Nottingham. I came into the 1K mini million here, day 3, from playing online. And I bubbled the Montreal one. So the WPT they had the 10K. I wasn't able to play it that day, but I wanted to, and I don't know how many they got. Do you know how many they got? I think that they put into day 3. What are your thoughts on that, and how did that come to light, and what exactly is that now available for all WPTs? Is it available for all the million stops?
It's not just WPT. So Millions UK, for example, they're already in the lobby. If you go to the PartyPoker Live app, you can see all the details in there, but you can effectively play day 1 online, and day 1 and 2 online for the main event, and day 1 and 2 online for the mini main event. So that means that you get into the money online and just go to the venue you join in day 3, you've already cashed.
Right.
So it's brilliant for players that maybe don't have a massive amount of disposable income. It means they don't need to travel unless they've got to the money, so they know they're effectively covering the costs.
It's crazy, because then you save the money on the flight.
And also, you're
days
less
of the
time
hotel.
there. Yeah, you're not there for as long. So
you come and then you actually get to chill for a day or two, which is, or you win a package, but then you also like win one of those seats. You could come and then hang out or explore.
But I guess the biggest thing here is for people that are working.
Yeah.
Right, you can't afford to go out for every poker festival. You can't afford to take a week off work and go. So playing day 1 and 2 online, you can maybe go and play for 2 days, 3 days max.
Right.
Maybe you don't need to take any time off work. It's just so flexible.
Yeah, it's a lot different to tell your boss or to take off a day or 2 and say, look, I'm on day 3. I just got to get through one day and be at the final, or versus going for a week. It's a huge difference. That's great. And so what I've seen though is there's usually one weekend or maybe 2. Is that something like, for example, I guess what I don't understand, and this is what I would like to understand, that thought process and how it's done, or is there going to be some changes? What would be, like, could you run more of those? Like what's the difference between saying, all right, we're going to do it on Sunday 3 weeks before the event, versus doing, like, for example, running, a month or 2 out, like every Sunday, having a day 1 and 2 for the mini millions for the Bahamas? What's the? Is it just because you want to have enough people?
I guess it comes down to liquidity. Yeah, I mean, if players feedback that they need to be further in advance of the event so that they can plan, fine. But I guess we need to just understand who these people are, what they want, and why. But it also then depends on liquidity. So you know, if you've
Yeah,
got,
you don't want to have like 15 people only.
no,
on
because
1K.
they don't take enough. You know, you need to
doesn't
have
make
enough
sense.
to have it as a proper day
Right,
one, day
okay.
two. So I guess you know you can't have too many, but maybe instead of having it the week before, they need to be 2 weeks
Yeah,
before, or 3
or
weeks
maybe
before.
do like 2 or 3 of them, but like a month out
Yeah.
for like a week. Yeah, it's cool. It's very interesting. It's a great addition. I think it also adds for the prize pool. It's just all around great. So that's cool. And there is the one for the UK Millions in January that's out now.
It's already in the lobby, so you can see it. I believe it is the 29th of December, around that day,
right
end of
before.
December. Yeah, so it's just before.
Because I think it starts January 4th, so that's like the weekend before.
Yeah, so there's 2 options. I think for the main is the Sunday and Thursday before, and for the mini main it's just the Sunday before. So players have 2 options online to try.
Very
Get
interesting.
in.
Okay, well that's cool. That's another updated thing in poker and the party's doing and trying. But it's just to be clear, it's for World Poker Tours and for the Millions. Those are the 2 examples. It's not all World Poker Tours, but I saw they did it for the UK one. They did it for the Montreal one. Is it going to be the majority of World Poker
May
Tours?
be. I guess if it depends on the take up. If players are playing them, then we'll do them
Keep
for every
spreading
event.
them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's very cool. So that's very exciting. That's a lot. Covering a lot. We had 100 questions roughly. I don't know if all of them will be. And I saw a couple ones you can zoom through with the pizza. What's your favorite food and whatnot? But I want to show the video as well.
Can we talk about one last thing?
Of course.
Before we do the questions, the comeback of the PartyPoker Million.
Yes, we did touch on that, and that is exciting.
Yeah, we knew for a long time we had something missing in our tournament schedule, which was this big flagship event on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of events on Sundays now in Party. The schedule's huge, it's massive, but we didn't have the big flagship, like main event type event. So a few weeks ago we brought back the PartyPoker Million, which is a $215 buy-in, and it's slightly different to a standard tournament in that it's run like a live event. So you have various day ones running into it, so day 1A, B, C, D, E and F, at different time zones. So we have some in CET and some in the US time zones for the Canadians and LATAM guys.
Yeah.
Now these guys, you can it's for each day one is a freeze out, but you can play as many day ones as you want. So if you bust out day 1A, you can then go and play day 1B if you want to. So effectively, if you make it through the day one, your chips go through to the final on Sunday, and you play for $1 million. So it's massive, and it's at the moment we're overlaying the tournament a little bit, so there's added value in there. But hopefully, the players will support this, and we can keep it in the schedule as a mainstay.
Right.
It'd be nice to grow this tournament, to be honest.
Yeah, it's cool to have. That's a great $215 for $1 million. It's nice to get that
Huge.
back, and it's fun because during the week there are several flights, and you can have an opportunity to build stack. And it's still with the it could easily hit the guarantee. I'm sure if you just made it unlimited, but you're keeping integrity of like one. You get to try once, and you can try again multiple times. So that is very cool. Awesome. So we're gonna go. That's cool. Let's watch. How about should we save the video for the end, or do you want to do the questions? I kind of want to see the video.
Go on then. Let's do the video.
Let's get the
I
video.
can tell,
I've been
Jack,
anxious, man. I
you're
want to see it.
excited.
I actually, we queued it up a bit. I don't think I've seen. Let's get the volume. We'll turn it up a little bit for dramatics, and let's pull it over, and then we're gonna knock these questions out. Okay, let's play it. I think I gotta go like this. Well, maybe I can go full screen. Actually, let's see. Let's do it.
Cool, yeah.
It's very cool. Yes, very, very nice. I mean, look, there's a look at it as the video's over. You can see that bet slider button. Just the graphics, the sounds, the gameplay. You can see as well. Like as you mentioned, you don't have to turn it sideways. It's in portrait, and where you can click and. What about the avatars? Is there set avatars, or can you upload? Will you be able to upload?
You will be able to. At the moment, there's a number of avatars. For spins, you just get assigned a random avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But You will be able to upload your own avatar at some point. You'll be able to take a photo and do it that way.
Very cool.
So this is just stage 1. So there's lots of different ones for players.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, it's I mean, that look right there. That's it's just man, you'll have to see yourself, and it will be tomorrow available for spins, and keep an eye on that. Let me see. I don't want to mess this up. So we did. Okay, so we did that, and I think again we mentioned Party Poker. I want to shout out Vadim and the entire Party Poker social team, because the Instagram content has gotten very interesting, engaging. Party Poker's made a lot of changes as well with that. There's a ton of content, ton of different types of content as well, and on Twitter and Instagram. So guys, if you don't follow along, give that. And that's also where there will be announcements for this type of stuff, where the new changes are coming when there's the releases of the mobile and other things. So keep an eye on that. Again, we mentioned Tom Waters here. We saw his Henning Mob, some good results. Got a poker background. Rob Young as well. We got to shout Rob out, who is the man. He's ambitious. He's motivated. He's wild. I'm sure he's kept you some late nights, right? Like he never stops. That guy just always is on it and engaging with everyone. So make sure you give Rob a follow. And then we're gonna go over here. I do want to mention as well, I had a 5% giveaway. Didn't win the tournament, but it was worth some money. $67, 5 people. That is over in 1 hour. You guys can still go to my pinned Twitter tweet and check that out. Had a vlog release today on YouTube, so a lot of action. And then we are going to give away 5 109 Millions online tickets. We'll give one today at the end of this vlog, at the end of this podcast, and then we'll have 4 more roll out over the next few days. So there it is. There's Tom. There's the mobile version, and let's knock some questions out. Okay, so here we go. How are you?
I'm good.
Good start. There it is. Do you think about some kind of festival dedicated for mobile users? Have you ever heard of a mobile festival? That's interesting.
It is interesting. We could do, sometimes we do promotions for players on mobile. So if you play something on mobile, then you get X. But it's hard to
could you actually turn it on where you say like no one's available? It's only mobile. Is that
could, but then it's kind of restrictive for the guys that don't have the right mobile. So we could do, but then.
It'd be interesting to get how would it translate over. It'd be hard to know, like, I guess how to do it, but that could be kind of fun if you get a special promo.
We could do something.
Okay, good question. I never even thought of that. This is not a language I speak. Do you understand that question or no?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so
let's get that.
We're not gonna guess. Biggest fear about playing poker. I guess. What's the most thing you enjoy about poker? We'll go with that.
The thrill, I think, of a bluff, I guess, is the best thing. When your heart starts going, you think, is he going to get through? And after the hand, you're shaking a little bit, and I guess that's the most fun thing, and also it's different every time.
Right.
So you're always seeing new spots. And it's
even against how you play, you get one hand in the small blind versus the cutoff versus this stack size versus this player. You're going to play it different. It's always something new. What are the biggest challenges you face during the competition, the online poker world?
I guess it's probably because it's the hardest thing is that the poker world's always evolving, and you haven't just got the old school sites anymore. There's new competitors coming through, which is why we're having to evolve the software again. And 12, 18 months ago, we knew we needed to do something about mobile, for example, but we had no idea how much we needed to change it.
Right.
So I guess it's constantly changing, and in 2 years' time, we'll probably sit here and say, well, all of this needs to change again. So it's tough. It's tough also fighting for players, because there's only a certain number of poker players in the world, and you want them all on your side playing together. So everybody else is trying to do the same thing. So it's very difficult competing against that.
For sure. Do you play on Party Poker?
No, I wish I could, but I can't. We're not allowed to. Staff can't play online.
Makes sense, right? That's like a negative free roll. You win an event, it's kind of like, what the heck, or else you're just not winning, and then that's not fun either. Will the Party Poker Live Tour get more stops in the future, perhaps at lower price points like 1 to 2K for a main, and name it slightly different?
So on stops, it's possible. We already have, I think this year was something between 50 and 70 stops, which is huge. So 1 a week, basically, somewhere. But the point about price points, definitely. We definitely are looking at adding more 1K, 2K events in. Rob and I were discussing this actually out here in the Caribbean this time, and we know potentially we have a bit of a gap. We had the Open running this time, which was 1K, really popular with the players, $1 million guaranteed. which went over. So we definitely need to have a look at that, and I think it's definitely a gap in the schedule that we need to address.
Yeah, that was a good tournament. That was actually, like I mentioned, the day 1 and 2 online. That was nice. I came here on day 3, so arrived and was in the money day 3, and had a nice run. Those were fun.
Would I play a tournament in Brazil? I have already. I think on my Hendon mob I have a Brazilian flag, which I'm pleased about. Yeah.
Is that next year though? It's in Uruguay. Is the Punta del Este in February? Is that going to be the South America stop for the year, like the main tour one?
I believe there's a WPT and WSOP as well. I would need to check the dates, but
okay.
They're both running.
Why a BWin account can't use Party Poker app?
So BWin is on the same network as Party, so it's a sports book that also plugs into our liquidity.
Okay.
So at some point, we will roll the same software changes out to BWin also, so they can use the same app.
Oh, so they will be able to use that.
BWin players, yeah.
Okay. Do you think one day poker will be more playing by phone than PCs?
Yes.
Yeah?
One day, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Will you do improvements on the software soon in both the PC and mobile? And that's basically kind of watch the podcast. That's basically what it was about. Are online poker and live poker complementary, or does one feed the other into the party poker structure?
They feed each other. Actually, it's really interesting. So live is brilliant because it gives us access to players, and we talk to them face to face, experience their problems, and try and fix things. And also, aspirationally, I think online players want to win a big live event. So players will come onto Party, play the satellites, win their live seat, go play live. But also live players that maybe haven't been playing online at Party then come back and play online when they realise how many options they've got to go and play a live event on Party satellite system. So it is actually very complementary. It does go both ways rather than just being one way.
That's interesting. Will the avatars? I think I just asked
avatars. It will be fully customizational. Yes.
Okay. High stakes Premier League with one leg at each million stop with final held at DTD at the end of the year. Good idea to bring back.
Good idea. I don't know if we can do it. It's actually something that we've discussed, but we've got so much on at the moment. Is how do we fit this in? But
I think I brought that up earlier this year. I saw Pad's engaged because I played in the last one, Premier League 7. That was a lot of fun. It's a great format, but. Yeah, that's actually an interesting way to look at it, though, to do at each stop like a leg or something.
Which
and then
we might do.
Yeah, if you got everyone to commit, and you said, look, do you want to buy in? But it's going to be you play one heat at every stop. I mean, that would be pretty intense. I guess you could find guys to commit to that.
Players would love to be in.
It's cool because you have all the cameras and the stuff, so you could come like a day earlier, a day after, and film it. Interesting, great idea.
US we discussed, so let's move on from that one.
Which one is that here?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much longer will it take us to be number one? Well, it depends on how the players support us. We're trying to do the right thing. It's very difficult to get players to move from one side to another. But I think anyone that hasn't logged into Party for a while will be pretty surprised if they log in now, and pleasantly surprised by the way that it's changed. So we're trying to have the level playing field, safe place to play poker. The software's getting better. We've got nice promotions running all the time. The only way we get to number one is if the players support. So we just need them to come in and play. Maybe the app is what the start of this, but we're still a long way behind. Being number one, but we're getting there.
I think so. And explain. I meant to ask this before because I get this. I don't know if someone asked it, but I heard someone talking about this here. And what about cryptocurrency, which is so popular among poker players? Is there going to be a way? Do you see that with GVC or Party, where cryptocurrency is able to be deposited with? Because it just seems to be kind of goes hand in hand.
Well, we've integrated a new payment provider recently called Luxon Pay, which is a really cool and innovative payment solution. And it allows players also to transfer funds to each other, and then they can then deposit on Party. So Luxon's really great, and I believe that Luxon are adding the facility for players to be able to trade crypto and move money in and out to their wallet that way. So anyone that's interested in looking at that should check out Luxon.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's in the top of the deposit
cashier,
withdrawal
yeah.
it's there. So
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure specifically. I think right now certain countries can use. I'm not sure exactly what countries can use it, but yeah,
Most countries can use it.
they
now.
can use it and
Yeah.
it's working in there. So I did see that in there. Okay, well, there you go. Luxon. When did you get into poker and why?
Yeah, we talked about that one. I think I was about 18, playing online. My first live event was about 5 years ago. 4 years ago. Yeah.
There it is. Yes, I guess some of these you just gotta watch the podcast, but we'll do this. What are his ambitions from a tourney series point of view in 2020?
That's an interesting question. Again, it's something that we've sat down this week and had a look at planning for next year, and there's going to be a couple of new festivals next year. They're a bit different. So I'm not going to ruin this as a surprise now, but watch this space because you're going to have your regular Powerfest, KO Series, Millions Online, Monster Series. We'll probably have a couple of Omaha Series in there as well. But there's going to be a couple of nice new ones in there that people need to have a look out for. Be interesting.
And also, just if you guys, in terms of finding where to play or what's going on live, there is the PartyPoker Live, very nice redone app where it's like even you can buy in, click a button with your dollars directly, and it also shows the schedule. It shows all the upcoming schedules, so you can see the dates, the times, which events. Very nicely done app, and would recommend downloading that. It's especially if you're looking to answer a lot of your questions. So how are you? We know it's good. One of the great objections of the poker players is the problem of freezing the software. This is due to high traffic, or is it a more specific problem? Can they definitely solve in the future?
So it's not traffic. We've touched on this a little bit as well, and I'm aware that sometimes the party software can be a bit laggy. We hold our hands up and say we acknowledge the problem. We're trying to fix it, but I think it comes back to the point of the software being just an old code base built on so many levels that we're trying to clean out, and it's getting better. I think players will see significantly less lag than they used to, and we sit and test it all the time and see if occasionally there's a little bit of a freeze or a lag. So it's getting better and we're working on it. I guess with this question, all I'm saying is, look, we hear you, and we are fixing it. We are doing something about it. Now, also, I would recommend if people are having that problem, just get in touch with us directly. And it may be something to do with the setup or your laptop or PC or whatever.
Also, I will mention, I believe this is something within the team we've talked about, that sometimes it could be party caption. I don't know, I've run that, and that seems to be, whenever I've had an issue, and I just close that and everything sort of works. So
if you're trying to use another tool while you're running the software, that can inhibit the client. So switch all that stuff off and see how it runs without that, and I think it would be much smoother.
Yep, so that's a good troubleshooting. What are the projects of mobile poker? We've gone over that basically the entire podcast, so you can go back. Will PartyPoker be a separate client for mobile games, which enhance mobile player options?
I think we've seen that one.
Yep, done this. Why
are there no women among party poker leaders? I don't know whether they're referring to pros here or whether they're talking about staff. But pros, we have female players. So we have Louise Butler from Ireland, we have Kristen Bigger.
Some phenomenal players,
and in terms of the team, we have ladies in the team, actually. I mean, I guess if you look at it objectively, we build our team around poker people. And there's less females in poker than there are males, so that you're always going to have a male-dominated team. But we have a lot of our creative team, our ladies. They do a great job creating assets and making the site look nice and the client look good. And we have ladies representing us on the felt also. So I think that we do have
representation there. When will you already change the team of pro? I only use mobile poker. There's so many minuses for party poker, or
I think we've gone through. We're constantly evolving the client there. I started a while ago playing poker.
We've gone over that. What studies do you have, and what contributions and rescissions do you make for party poker? Studies.
I mean, we make decisions collectively. So our management team with Rob and everybody else, we'll sit down and discuss things. And a lot of the changes we make are controversial. So we have to be confident we're doing the right thing. And always we discuss it with the pro team, with Patrick Leonard's heavily involved with decision making. We effectively have a committee where we discuss everything and make sure that we're making the right decision. And if we're proposing a decision that the pros think is bad for the players, we'll listen and maybe not do it, and that's happened a couple of times. So there's a whole team making decisions. It's not just me or Rob or anybody else. It's collectively we do it together.
Right.
And so if it's bad for a player, generally a decision or a change doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice to have a system. Implement new feature on mobile. Again, we've gone over all of that. As a Canadian, we'll be able to use my mobile poker when traveling through the U.S.
When you're in the US, you won't be able to play.
Okay. Any thoughts on software updates you think we need, in your opinion?
Lots of them, yeah. We've gone over those already.
Will you ever allow HUDs in recent history on PP?
So you can now use your HUD via MyGame to review your hand history, anonymized, but that's it.
Okay, so you could, on a Poker Tracker 4, you could use MyGame and upload it into it?
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't understand that exactly. Okay, that makes sense. How we draw, we only draw, just curious how you'll draw 5 winners when you can only draw 1 from a tweet. Well, luckily we have Adrian for that. We'll do 1 at the end of the show, and then I think it's 1 per 24 hours. So if not, we'll put them in a hat and pick one. I don't know. There's 5 winners, or 5 people will get a 109 ticket. Don't you worry, professional NLH. You are going to be eligible. How's it going? It's good. He's answered that. What are the biggest changes coming to mobile poker? We've gone over that. Why aren't there more free rolls? I don't know. I mean, I think there is a fair amount of...
There are free rolls running, but I mean, generally free rolls are taken up by players that don't contribute. So, we want to reward customers that are loyal, and generally we'll give away money in different ways.
Right.
So, we've got a 500k spin storm promotion running at the moment for players. You just play spins and you
There's also fast forward leaderboards.
Yeah, so the guys that, and it's not just for high rakers also, the spin storm is random, prizes being given out, so it's to everybody, and I think, sometimes a free roll is a good idea, but it's not always the best way for us to be giving back to the players.
Right, for sure, that makes sense.
Multi-tabling on mobile is possible now, so players can play 4 tables right now, and we've just seen how that's going to change, so it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest hurdle or stumbling block in progression of mobile poker?
I think hopefully we've solved that now.
Mm-hmm. Will there be any point mobile app get your checks number to how many big blinds you have? Is that a feature where you can click on?
Yeah, so when you're betting now, you can select in big blinds. So that's done.
Can you do that? Is it like a setting, or can you go back and forth, like click it, like on the desktop you can just click on it and it goes back and in and out?
So the pre-select button now is in terms of big blinds already, so you can do it.
Okay. Tablet. When can we use a new app? It will be all devices,
next
mobile
week.
or tablet. Next week, Monday or Tuesday. Do you think in the near future mobile apps are so good like the normal poker apps on the PC?
Yeah.
Okay. When will I say the winners? We'll be saying 1 tonight, and then they'll be coming. We've gone over the updates and timelines coming up right now for Party. I think that you've laid it out up until through Q1 to kind of finish off the multi-tables and the other fast forward coming up as well. Do you think online poker is growing, or has it had its peak?
It's not growing, but it's not really shrinking right now. I think it's the online poker has been hammered by regulation changes in the last 10 years, but it's stabilized, I think, and it's difficult to grow now. We talked about this earlier. There's so many other things players could choose to do instead of playing poker, so it's difficult to get it growing again. So I think it's going to be a struggle to grow, but I think the poker world can stay as it is now for a while. But you need to be doing things like we're doing and some of the other major operators to generate a bit of excitement and life into poker. If you don't do that, then no one's going to play anymore. You need big guarantees, you need cool live events, you need fun experiences to be able to play. And if that stuff works, then there's no reason why we can't grow if nobody else does.
Yeah, I think that's also why I'm so excited about the mobile version or tablet with this, because it is the emojis, the interaction, like there's microphone. I don't know on this yet, or if there's a thing where you can chat, which is kind of crazy. Like you think about that type of camera, even maybe where you can screenshot, see yourself. Like these type of things are just that's what's possible, and that's like what's available, and it's cool because that's, I think people love that. It just gets closer and more realistic and more real.
Yeah.
So that's all cool. A shout out to Colette Stewart. There she is. The little dog 78. Good to hear from you. She's telling it. Stay tuned. So the question is, will there be any improvement in the graphics on the mobile platform? And
yes,
said 20 to 90, 95 plus. It is. It really is cool. Will Party Poker take PokerStars' place as the #1 platform?
I hope so. Come and play on Party and tell all your friends.
Yeah.
And maybe.
Yeah, exactly right. There you go. Bluffing online versus live. That's a I don't know. It's you gotta bluff sometimes. If you're not caught bluffing, you're not bluffing enough.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. How much of user interface change are you planning to implement in the future? Covered a lot of that.
Yeah.
Any live events in Serbia or Croatia on the horizon?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Those are just markets that are.
It's difficult.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Will Party be okay? This is in terms of the mobile. Will Party be able to match PokerStars?
I think Party spin software on mobile is the best mobile game out there. I haven't seen a better, more fun experience. I think it's the best, and that's not being biased.
Right.
Play it for yourself and have a look and see what you think. And
Rob, yourself very, very open and transparent, or how you feel. Saying Stars is the industry leader, not trying to, in general as a platform, and I think the gap is definitely it's apparent that it's closing relatively quickly. I mean, Party's growth, it's like the only poker site that's up growth each year over year the last few years, right? 40% even, or 20, or with some crazy numbers. Also won Operator of the Year. I saw that
3 years in a row,
which is pretty special. That's cool. Were you at those awards or no?
I couldn't actually. I was somewhere else that night, but the team went and had a good little celebration.
Nice. So, I saw that. I saw they did accept that award. What is the main thing that can still be improved on mobile poker apps?
I think fun, and I think that's what we've seen tonight already.
Mm-hmm. How do you guys look at Party Poker? Look at PokerStars. Do you look at them as a fierce competitor, someone to take inspiration from?
Both, I think. I think PokerStars are very strong and solid, and we do take inspiration from them. But we also, they are also a fierce competitor, and there are other competitors out there also that maybe are doing things better than both of us.
Right.
So we look around at what people are doing and also maybe what people are not doing,
mm-hmm.
and take inspiration from that. But most of our inspiration comes from the players.
Right.
The changes we make are based on feedback. So it's not just looking at competitor sites.
Mm-hmm. When will the customization of sounds/alerts be implemented into the software?
It's something we're looking at, and it'll be 2020 at some point.
Okay. What sets Party Poker app apart from the competition? Ask Tom from
We've covered that one.
Yeah, you lad. We did go over the many reasons why we think it's going to be different. What will you improve to attract players who like tournaments but can't play until the middle of the night due to work and life commitments?
So it'll be interesting to know where this guy is talking from, because we've recently overhauled our MTT schedule. So it started around 6 to 8 weeks ago, and it's been continually evolving over that time at all stakes. And there's significantly more volume in there now than there was before. So if you log in at any time of the day or night, there should be tournaments for you to play, whatever you're buying. So maybe you haven't logged in for a little while, but if you still feel that having logged in recently and there's not enough volume, then let us know and we'll have a look at it. If tournaments run, we'll put them in. So there's no issues with us adding new stuff. So we want to appeal to everybody. Now maybe in certain time zones it's difficult to get the liquidity going because most of our customer base is asleep.
Right.
But generally, between 9 a.m. CET, so European time, and 2 a.m. it's busy. There's tournaments running, and even after that time zone, there's stuff running through the night. So I think our MTT schedule is dramatically better than it used to be.
Yeah.
And it's very, very popular with the guys that have taken it up. So we've had really good feedback from the players on this new schedule. There's always something to play.
Absolutely. Mobile poker, it's good. Yes,
it
is. Lucky Bet AA, thank you. Someone says you want to play me in football. I bet on Jeff. Well, I don't know. Did you play growing up at all, or is that? I mean, it's
football. You guys called it soccer, right?
Yeah,
same. I did play football. Yeah.
Okay. Man, Patrick Leonard was quite a player back in the day. Huh?
He still plays.
We played the World Cup this summer.
Did you?
A few summers actually. I think like 4 or 5. So and UK has always been they're solid.
We're always there.
In the mix.
Never quite win, but.
Why are there so many changes to the schedule so often? Structures, different tourneys, etc. I love concept of mega satellites, for example, which lasted just shortly, then canceled. You also had better blind structures in past, which suited recs. Well, better blind structures generally, I think, would favor pros, right?
I think the faster a tournament, the better it is for a recreational player, right? And I think this is something that we have changed. Look at the clocks now; they're much quicker than they used to be. We don't want long clocks because they do favour the pros. But also, Megasats are now back for Millions Online, so you can see them in there. But I think that we only make changes based on feedback and response. So when we started rolling out this new MTT schedule, for example, we had to make changes because we realised we got some things wrong. This schedule should settle down now, and you shouldn't see that many changes. However, when you have an event running like the Caribbean event out here right now, we can't run big high rollers all week because everybody's here. So we have to make changes to guarantees and things like that occasionally in quiet time. But we'd like it to be as static as possible. We don't want to continually make changes, but sometimes we just have to.
Right.
So
makes sense.
The next question is...
this guy asked this exact question right now live on the... Might be him.
HUDs and other third-party tools are banned on Party. We've actually got a safer poker page which you can go to on the website, which sets out in detail what you can and can't do, and we do allow a couple of pieces of software to run alongside the client. Party Caption, you've mentioned, is one of them.
Yeah.
Effectively, anything that gives the client a bit of a facelift, maybe with some information on there about where you are in the tournament or whatever, is fine, but anything that aids a player's decision making is banned. I think that's the easiest way to explain it.
What makes you motivated on your job?
I think probably the desire to be the best. You know, we have an opportunity to change our business, overhaul it, and become the best. And you know, I think the desire to do that and the vision that we have is what gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. Will we get to all the PC app features like making notes, tags on players, replay hands, different bet sizes on mobile app also? Yes. Please focus on making the UI better with more features.
So some of them now, some of them will come later in a second phase.
What do you think the best worst changes? What do you think was the best / worst change? Party poker.
It's a tough question. I mean, best change that we've made is probably banning HUDs and preventing the downloadable hand history from being circulated. I think that's the best change we could have made. It's the best change in terms of player protection. The worst change, or the worst thing that Party's done, I don't know really. I'd like to think we don't make any changes that get into a worse category, but maybe we have. Maybe we can put that out to the players and ask them, see what they think.
That's actually an interesting way of feedback, see what they like the least. Will the mobile app include more features like writing player notes and set fixed bet sizing?
Fixed bet sizing, yes, is now. And player notes, yes, at some point. Okay. But not right now.
Okay, and pizza question, we did see you answered it even already, sweet corn. Here's something in Russian, I don't know, I believe that's Russian. I do not have any questions. PP is the best poker room, thank you.
That's nice.
That's good. Well, that's always nice. You're still eligible for the giveaway. Great work recently on Party Poker Tom. Have you considered making compromise between HUD, no HUD, example, a very basic HUD, VPIP on the table? I mean, they do have the big blinds already on the table.
You can see this in MyGame. So you can see your personal VPIP, for example, in MyGame. But this is the controversial point. Should we see somebody else's? I'm not sure. It's something that we can take a view on over time, but for now there won't be any information on other players at the table. Chat and emojis, yes, we're doing more fun engaging. Yes, it's all coming from mobile. Straddles possibly is something on our list, and no more signings on pros. I think we have a good team.
How has the change from token to T satellites worked out so far? I've seen a boost in liquidity. Has there been a noticeable change?
It's been popular. I can't tell you exactly the numbers, but it's definitely been taken well by the players.
Right. Or is it not there, Ted? I don't know what the question is. What makes you motivated on your job? We did that. Thoughts on the overlays and satellites, million, etc. Thoughts on the overlays?
I mean, I guess this comes to how you want to spend your marketing money. So we have a fixed budget to go out and spend each year to tell players about Party and why they should play with us. We took the decision to reinvest that money in the players. So if we put that money back in terms of overlays, it goes back to the players. If we go to a TV station and go to advertise, that money's lost from the poker liquidity in the ecosystem. So I'm not saying we're never going to go out and do that stuff, but at this point in time, we're investing in the players that are with us. We want to give the value back there, so that's why we do it. And sometimes you have to take an overlay in these big tournaments to get players to come in and notice you. So that's our strategy. Will it be our strategy forever? Probably not. But will you continue to see overlays at Party next year? For sure.
Right. Yeah. That's a great way to put it. Explains how it works, and maybe it's more valuable, right? Sometimes that bang you get for it go back to the players instead of putting it out of the community. Sounds like an awesome podcast. Well, here we are. Question for Tom: what do you think will make PP #1 site online and past PokerStars? I already heard a lot of people playing more on Party Poker because of small fields, but wouldn't that make the company's profit much less? So it's a kind of a loaded lot going on in that question, but I don't know if that's even true.
I mean, I think the answer is we have to improve the software. If we improve the software, the players will come and liquidity comes. At that point, I think is where we start to challenge a bit more. So I don't think it's got anything to do with small fields and company profits. I mean, fields will grow over time as the liquidity boosts. So I think at the moment, we do have smaller fields than stars, but some of our fields are massive. So,
right. Oh yeah.
It depends on which tournament I think you want to pick and play.
Yeah, it's huge. Why won't you get a license and back in Australia? That was kind of a weird one. That Australia's a big.
Australia's shut. Yeah. And I mean it was quite controversial, the regulations there, but we are constantly monitoring that market, and if they relicense, then we will go back into Australia.
What is it? Is that like a yearly deal it's up for? Or how does that
At the
work?
moment, there's no online poker at all in Australia. So they need to bring in a regulated regime, at which point we would apply for a license.
But would that be something that they would then be back into the pool, or it could be segregated?
It depends on the market. I mean, most sensible governments allow shared liquidity.
Okay,
So, for example,
understand.
UK players and Danish players and Czech players can play in .com, where it's regulated. Some markets are more difficult. So hopefully Australia follows the model which allows the players to share.
With that being said, is that something right now where Pennsylvania in the U.S. Party Poker is there? Is that something in theory that Pennsylvania could come?
They're
into
talking
share?
about it. Yeah, they're
Oh, really?
talking about sharing.
That would be pretty sweet.
But there's the Wire Act issue in the US at the moment with money crossing borders. So
that happened this year too.
Yeah,
right?
so that's kind of put a bit of a blocker on poker. So that's they need to resolve that, and once that's resolved, I think you'll get a lot more shared liquidity.
Interesting. Okay.
I think we've talked about USPs. MyGame to the Mac client, I think it's already there, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I'll check.
On the PP mobile app. So right now it'll be spins, which will be released this week. Our more mobile-friendly format's been considered, and that's kind of going to roll out coming up here in order.
Next quarter.
With Fast Forward.
Fast Forward next month on mobile. My favourite online tournament. My favourite online tournament I can't play. It's the PartyPoker Million. My biggest cash I think was $87,000  2 years ago in the Dominican Republic.
Nice. It's a nice score. Still looking for that. You're close to that six figure.
Close.
Break it open soon. When do you think more states will pass online gaming, MA?
I don't know.
MH?
At some point in 2020, I understand that there's a few states that are going to open, but I don't know which ones and when.
It does seem like things are happening
Slowly,
fairly slow, but now starting to make progress finally. Will they approve online gaming in more states? This is also the same thing when mobile apps compare to desktop apps and usability.
It's always going to be different, but it's getting closer now. I think people will see with this new app we're getting a lot closer.
Okay, we're getting close here to the end. We are going to answer all of them. Tom, when we have the ability.
So you can do this now. This question about being able to customize your bet slider. With the new Spins app, you can do it. With the other products, when we upgrade that to the new version, Fast Forward, for example, will be next month. You can do that then also.
Okay. Favorite hand, obviously aces, but like But do you have one that's fun?
I like Jack Queen suited, so of hearts, but
even hearts. You
yeah.
want a big pot or a significant hand with it? Just
not really. I think
seems to
just seems to be a
40%
feels like you always want to play it.
Right. Yeah. You're not folding to a 3-bet with that hand. How do you perceive the support for the PKOs over the last year? Do the player numbers nowadays outweigh the rake, or do you sometimes think about missing profits come in for that aspect?
So it's a good question that. And it must be a year ago now. We halved the rake on PKO.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So we felt that it wasn't right to charge rake on the bounty element of the prize pool. Mm-hmm. So we only rake the prize pool element, which is effectively half rake, compared to other sites in the industry. Now, the problem with that is that the PKOs have become increasingly popular, and they're the most popular format now of MTT. So PKOs actually dwarf other tournaments because they're so fun. So maybe we are shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit with that change, but then sometimes you just have to do what you feel is the right thing. And over time, if we get the support from the players with more traffic coming through, then yes, we've got less rake, but there's more guys giving it to us.
I think I know that, but I forget that. That's something that should be promoted more, because that's a
huge edge.
Big savings and different than I think everything else.
And it also means more money going to the prize pool.
Yeah. What are your future plans in gain significant increase in getting new players finding the great game in general, not just PartyPoker? What's a way to get new players into the game?
The mobile app, I think. We need to sell the app to everybody and get them playing.
It's true. It's coming. This week, literally right now, in the next hopefully 12 hours. Excited for the new PLO MTT schedule. How awesome can we expect it to be, and how far away is it? It would be great to have table VPIP and especially emojis like on other platforms liven up the tables. Well, this is what's happening about that second part. What about the MTT PLO?
MTT PLO, I'll have to check. I know it's coming soon. So we did the Hold'em schedule first, and then PLO is going to follow. So it won't be long.
We've talked about that. Another, how are you? How would you rate your poker skill?
Average.
Okay.
Room for improvement.
Nice. Will you ever reach PS level 5 to 6 years ago? Good luck, PartyPoker.
Thank you.
Is the real future of poker casino gambling?
I don't think so. I don't understand the question really, but I think are they saying is the poker world going to switch to casino? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, there's enough room for everything. How do you track bots?
I can't tell you how, but we use an in-house tool called eProtector that it basically takes input from poker experts and scans the system, and it detects bots.
Nice. Oh, and speaking of that possible situation, I agree. I was going to say, if I were in the booth, like, you could hear some of the, if you watch any of the videos or some of the clips, like, the commentators were like, oh, that's like, it's just like kind of crazy. Like, I think after 1 or 2 sessions, I'd be like, this is weird, so yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
How can I promote PartyPoker? Yeah, if you are a friend or you like PartyPoker, you're trying to, what's a way someone could help to spread the word, or any in particular things, retweets, or
just follow all our social media channels, tell all your friends, get them to play online, and I think just spread the word. Word of mouth, I think, is the best way to spread. I think,
to let them know. To check the mobile out and let them know. So I think we've answered about 100 questions. We've gone through live, online, the mobile. We've covered an absolute ton. Is there anything else you want to cover? We do have the millions. We want to mention that's again 10,300 coming up. 20 million, one tournament. This is not a series. This is a one event, a 10,300 buy-in, December 1st, the first day. $1 million bonus if you bag that 1-8 chip lead and end up winning the tournament. Pretty sweet. Anything else to hit on?
Massive mega sat schedule running for the next 2 weeks. Huge satellites. They started today, the direct sats into Millions Online, so 10 times 10k seats were running today. There's a 50-seat guaranteed satellite running just before day 1A, plus various throughout the week this week, so massive value in there for players.
Okay. PartyPoker, follow them on Instagram, Twitter, all the different platforms. Keep updated. PartyPoker Live app is great. The the app is going to be out, like you said, update. That'll be automatic on your. Should be very soon. Let's see, where are we going here for? We wanted to grab the retweet, right? We're going to give someone we're going to give one person a 109 tickets today. We're going to copy that. Should work. And then we're going to give 4 more. Don't worry. And we'll let Tom tell me when. I think this works because we did an Elky podcast earlier today. We did this, but it was for, I think it's 1 per tweet. Not, you can only do 1 a day. So let's try it. So I'll let Tom, hopefully this works. Tom, you tell me when. Someone's going to win a 109 Millions ticket. You tell me when.
Let's go.
Hopefully this works. It looks like it's working. And NN Nazir, my man, is going to win a 109 ticket, and it looks like he's already won something in the past, I believe. So I'll just I'll make sure I'll message him afterward that he won the 109 ticket. Millions Online. I'll be seeing you there on Twitch. There he is, Tom Waters, right here. Here's a sneak peek at kind of how it looks. That's a 4-table view, which you could play 4 spins when it's out.
You can.
Up to 4 tables, and there's a little look at how it looks, and you can kind of already see that portrait mode. You don't have to have it landscape. The portrait, it's there. There it is, podcast number 33 in the books. Tom, anything else you want to close on, or have we covered it all?
I think we've covered everything.
Covered it all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Tom Waters, his first ever podcast. He's done a lot of interviews. This is his first podcast in the books. I appreciate it. Tom
Thanks
Waters,
for taking
everyone.
My podcast, Cherry.
Yes, my man right there. We'll see you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments below. Let us know what you think. And if you try the mobile version, leave the feedback. Hope you guys enjoy. You'll see me at the tables. I'll be playing you in some spins very soon. So thanks again, and good luck in the Millions Online. I'll see you for the $20 million event as well. And Tom can't play. I'm going to play. We'll see you there. Good luck.